Hey everyone, welcome to Commander Clash. Hour of Devastation is upon us, and that means we're showcasing all the new legendaries. Last week we showed you guys the new gods of Hour of Devastation, and this week we're going to be showing you the other legendaries, the mono-colored legendaries of the new set. So let's start off with Seth. What are you running?
So I have Razaketh the Foulblooded, the new mythic demon, and this card's pretty sweet. This is a card that I've heard some commanders rumbling about maybe being even too good. Like, it's kind of like a fixed Grizzlebrand in some sense. Instead of just mass card draw, you get to tutor and you got to sack a creature to do it. So my deck, I considered a bunch of different possibilities. Demon Tribal, weird, janky, Shadowborn Apostle. But I ended up with a deck that's very much built around Razaketh and looking to take advantage of sacrificing my own creatures for value. So not only do I get to tutor things, but hopefully sacking the creatures is an upside as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I haven't seen Razaketh played yet, but the sacrifice theme for Black is always really fun. Black is really good at the sacrifice theme, and Razaketh is a instant speed, no mana required sacrifice outlet. So, and it tutors, which is very powerful in a 99 card singleton deck. So it should be really fun, and I'm excited to see what you actually tutor up. All right, Tom, what are you running?
Well, but when we first started recording, I was going to be running exactly nothing because for some reason MTGO just ate my previous deck file for Djeru with Eyes Open. And then, thankfully, I was smart enough to first save it on MTG Goldfish site, and I was able to retrieve it, and we're good to go. So this is Djeru with Eyes Open, 5 mana, 4/3 vigilance. When you enter the battlefield, you find a Planeswalker card. You put it into your hand. And it will start deal damage to a Planeswalker I control. I prevent one of that damage. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really think too hard with this deck. I went the exact direction it told me to, and I'm excited to see how it plays.
Yeah, it seems like it pushes towards a certain direction, but at the same time, it's a direction that you don't really see in mono-white. You don't see a mono-white Super Friends deck actually happen ever, and it's going to be cool to see how it functions as opposed to, you know, like the regular Atraxa version or whatnot. And it might not even be Super Friends. I could just be entirely wrong in that direction too.
Well, I'm just hoping that it plays well, because the reason why there might not have been a white Super Friends deck before is because it could be terrible. And I'm not too sure yet, so we're going to find out together.
We'll find out, yep. All right, Jennifer, what are you running?
I am playing Unesh, Criosphinx Sovereign. It is the god of sphinxes, basically, and just the entire card oozes play Sphinx Tribal. You must. So I'm playing Sphinx Tribal. I've got I think I'm missing 1 or 2 of the mono blue Sphinxes in the game in my deck. So I'm pretty excited. Just big splashy things that do weird things, and they all cost too much mana, so it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, when I think Sphinxes, I can only think of like a good 5 of them, and I don't even know of all of them in mono blue. So it's going to be cool seeing the actual tribe fleshed out. And Unesh is so strong for the tribe that I think even the ones that you would gloss over before might be actually quite good here. So quite exciting. All right, and this is Tomer, and I'm running Neheb the Eternal. This is a pretty straightforward commander. What it wants to do is it wants to do damage, to make some mana, to do more damage. It's pretty cut and dry, and I guess I'm just now the burn player of the group because I've been playing it a lot, but it's quite fun, so I'm excited to have another go at it. All right, starting hands. This hand is slow, but it has some ramp. It has lands, so I don't think I'm going to go too greedy with it. It seems playable, and hopefully it develops into other things.
My hand is absurd. It is absurd, so we will keep it.
My hand should be passable, so I'm going to try it out.
So I did take a mulligan before we started going through, because I had 1 land and a bunch of big stuff. But this hand looks way better. So I think Seth and I might be dangerous off the bat. Not sure.
Okay, so hey, Tomer. How?
Well, there's always a chance we can top deck a Soul Ring, Tom. Together.
That's true.
Just believe.
Time to make sure it's in my deck.
I could top deck a Soul Ring too, though.
What? Your ridiculous start doesn't even have Soul Ring in it?
It does not.
Guess.
Oh my.
I think I get to go first, right? Oh man.
Unfortunately. It seems like I just never go first, which is horrible.
Okay, that's reasonable start. Not bad.
It's okay.
Not done yet. Not done yet.
It's okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Oh!
Not bad.
Did you top deck Soul Ring?
Who
Please tell me
top
top
deck
deck
Soul Ring? This guy. Come on, Tom. Keep it going.
I knew this deck was slow before.
I believe in you, Tom. You're gonna top deck that Soul Ring.
I believe in the you that believes in me.
Yay.
So I think we play this. We play this.
Okay.
Oh boy.
And I mean, I guess we'll save the rest of it and we'll just play this for now.
Oh, okay. That's all.
That's all.
So,
Just a mana
tell me to
crypt.
play tap land it is.
It's Amiria though. Amiria's
Your turn, boys and girls.
Oh man. So everybody's having such a great start.
It's fine. I actually like my hand. If I drew lands for the next 5 turns, I'd be okay with it.
Some expensive cards in there.
You know, lands are an important resource for a budding white deck, and it's something that it's hard to come by. It's not like we have rampant growth in these colors.
So, did you pick Djeru or were you the last pick, Tom?
I feel like I was last pick.
He was
Yeah, I was
first
kind of
pick.
wondering.
First
Was it?
pick. Yes. I told you I was gunning for him. I was gunning for that Djeru. It's fine though. I'm very happy with Neheb. I like burning things. Burning things is fun.
It's interesting because Burn seems bad in Commander, but maybe Neheb is a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Burn feels like Mill to me, where it's when you have 3 people with 40 life, it's a lot different than 1 player with 20 life.
I think it just depends on the type of cards you're running. A lot of the good burn spells in a 1-versus-1 format don't end up translating well in Commander. Like Lightning Bolt does not really work very well. But there's a lot of burn cards that do work really well. Like the one of the best ones is the Heartless Hitotsugu. It's the one that you can tap it to deal damage equal to half each person's life total. So right off the bat, if everybody's at 40, he's doing 20 damage to each person. So that's a net 80 damage across the board, which is crazy.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Just do this, I suppose. Cryptolith Fragment.
Okay.
Tap it.
Oh, come on, Mana Crypt.
Man, there's quite a bit of land grab going on around here.
So, let's see now. I guess we just sacrifice this. Grab some more Ugly Swamps.
No attacks. Interesting.
Play this. I think people are already going to hate me.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So-
you know,
so
he's
I-
not. Wait, can you already summon your commander on turn 3?
I think Jen can too, but yes, I believe so.
Yeah, but yours costs 8.
That's
What is
true.
this?
If I
Hey,
draw
My
a land.
marble diamond.
here's some mana ramp. Now everybody's got mana
Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to Marble Diamond, I guess.
ramp.
Aw, unfortunately, I did not draw a land, so no Unesh this turn.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, bummer, right?
Such a bummer.
I probably shouldn't have kept that hand.
Yep.
Probably not. I understand.
Or if Desi's is ready for him too.
I'm going to play. Alright, I'm going to play my one non-Sphinx creature.
Ooh.
Ooh.
More unconventional ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Smart.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
This is a straight up beatdown Tribal Sphinx.
Yeah.
It's not normally like this, I promise. I just drew like the world's best opening hand for this deck. It is
Destiny
crazy.
Spiral wins.
Oh.
If I get my commander out, my flying sphinxes, aka sphinxes, will be 4 mana less to cast.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
And
sick.
Scary.
Speaking of ramp,
Ooh, there it is.
I think everybody's ramping pretty hard, so I figured I'd join the party.
I think Tom's kind of missed the boat, but otherwise, yeah.
That's okay. I'll just keep reminiscing back to the last 2 games I played here, and I'm just gonna sit back and watch. It's all right.
Just have that on the second monitor, just on replay.
Just like bringing back Carnifex demons and
Bring back that Notion Thief play. Have it on replay.
yeah.
So how much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 mana?
Gosh,
That's a lot.
you could Willamog on turn 3.
I could. I
You're
don't have.
ahead of Tom.
You know
I
who
don't
doesn't
have
miss? I don't really actually miss the Sol Ring and the Mana Crypts, to be fair.
Nope.
Do I have enough black mana? 3. All right. I guess we just do this. Tap everything, and we will play
Goodness.
a Blood Artist.
Oh, that's. I'm sure the Blood is innocent and not going to ping us to death.
And then we'll play a Razaketh. Not a bad turn 3.
No, I don't think so.
And pass the turn.
I see you've picked up the Deserted Temple Cabal Coffers little play.
Yeah, I managed to get that in under the budget, or close enough to the budget. So it seems. Oh, Tom,
Yeah, that's a
entering
good
the ramp party.
I'm happy about it.
It's actually a really good start. It's just that Soul Rings are silly.
This is a really good mono white start.
Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah.
I feel good about myself right now. I wonder what's on these other people's boards. Oh god. Huh. Well, I'm gonna just keep looking this way.
And Unesh is here to play.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
Who wants the first go around?
I'll do it.
Alright, there you go.
Ooh, no Sphinx. Oh, capsize. Oh my god.
Oh man,
Ooh, imprisoned in the moon. Okay.
this is a pretty good pile, regardless.
That's a good split. Three spells in a land.
I
Separate.
think the card I'm most scared of is capsize.
Wait, has Jennifer been missing her land drops though? She might want that island more than usual.
That is true, but her stuff costs infinite less.
Oh, that's
Not infinite, just 4.
just 4. Oh my goodness.
So do you think I should try to split the land off then?
I would go. Oh no, giving her capsize and imprison the moon would also be pretty nasty. I think this is fine. I think it would be like island and imprisoned maybe versus Thassa capsize. That's how I would do it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. I'll take
All
Comer's
right.
advice.
I'm gonna take the island and imprison in the moon. And I'll play land for turn.
Yeah.
There it is.
I can't play those though.
So you can play a 5-drop if it's a Sphinx right now.
As long as it only costs a single blue, which most Sphinxes are double blue.
Ah.
Which is unfortunately the problem I'm looking at right now. Because I have a 5-drop with double blue and I can't play. But yeah, I think that's that. So
Oh man. Hmm.
This is getting pretty scary pretty fast.
Yeah.
Where does this
Flying. You've
turn-
got like Gauntlet of Power. Ugh. All right. Sorry, Tomer.
Aw. We could have been some
We can still work together, but you have the optional choice at this moment since we haven't made a pact.
I mean, you don't have to be friends to have a working relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with all the nurses I work with. We're good. I mean, we're friendly, but we're not friends.
Yes.
That's
Agreed.
true. 3. Okay.
Tomer
Mana
was
check.
counting real quick. Yep, that's the
See
mana
this
count.
way? Alright, what do I do here? I could play this, or I could play this. I could play like this and this. Oh, I just tapped that horribly, didn't I?
Meh.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's fine.
Kill Tomer.
Hey now.
I mean, I worked on it.
Hey
Helped him a
now.
little bit.
That was a good start.
That's all. Excuse me,
Indestructible.
mister. I have a Razaketh that can tutor instantly and is a flying trampler. 8/8.
Oh, you get mana from your... Oh my goodness, that's a combo.
I did that so bad. Alright, that's Tomerfail number 1. Forgot about that whole
Oh,
Cryptolith fragment.
that's incredibly smart.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, going
okay.
forward, I'm going to play that better.
Well, let's do this.
This
we're
is
gonna
the part
ping,
I'm scared about.
we're gonna ping Tomer. All right. Let's oh man, so many cards and I don't know what we want.
It's okay.
Man.
You barely have any mana available.
I have good options. Oh man. Oh geez, that would be so mean.
Oh god.
Oh, it does seem kind of fitting. Demons are mean, right?
And I know who
Yep.
it's going to be mean to. Like, I already know.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone.
Everyone?
Yes,
Is it Death
everyone.
Cloud?
No, I didn't.
Good.
I considered Death Cloud, but I decided against it. This is only like a percentage of Death Cloud, 1/3 of Death Cloud. See if you can guess what third it'll be.
It's going to be the discard side.
That is a pretty good guess. So, play this. So, I think this means we...
Don't
Play-
say we win, Seth. I'm just gonna caution you.
play Oversold Cemetery.
Okay. But you don't...
Oh, I don't yet.
Oh.
All right.
Sack Mind Slicer.
Well, I guess
Oh.
I feel less bad. I could have had Reverberate up. But in the end, it wouldn't have mattered.
But you killed my uber shiny. I had a super shiny consecrated sphinx
Aww.
of prettiness.
And then, oh man, I think we got to keep this going. Tutor.
Oh.
Oh no.
I think this is mostly bad for Jennifer, actually.
What is Sphinx? Ooh, Sphinx of Lost Truths. Consecrated Sphinx. Yeah, I noticed that the invocations online are cheaper than the normal
Oh,
version in many
Jesus.
cases.
Yep, that's
one
why I
of the
have
things.
this one.
Wow, that's so
Aww,
brutal. That is
so brutal.
Wow. Wow.
Razaketh's pretty good.
He's a demon. That is pretty. It's pretty in line with what they do. Oh, Djeru
I
comes
will
out.
let it be known that I tried to dibs Razaketh, but Seth got there first. So if Razaketh wins, I theoretically might have won. Maybe.
I was just waiting a turn to Wrath of God, but then my hand went away.
Mind Slicer. And it's a combo Oversold Cemetery. I can do it every turn.
Oh my goodness. I actually have some graveyard hate in this deck. I'm very proud of it, and I even have a tutor for it.
Ooh.
Yeah. I hope everybody has Graveyard Hate, because this happens every week.
Man, this card is bonkers.
Which one?
Razaketh, I think, is actually really insane.
It's so cute. Oh, everybody has blockers.
Cerulean Sphinx.
That's a 8/8.
What do you
Six.
what do you plan on doing with that mana over there, Mr. Tomer?
I have one card. It's not very good.
Oh, okay, then just attack Seth to make him lose 3 life.
Yeah, I will. But
Oh, yeah.
one-
I can't eat your commander.
Are you gonna Mind Slicer next turn? That seems so not good for you.
I'm probably not going to Mind Slicer. I'm probably going to do something more beneficial to myself.
Like this is either gonna. I can either cast it and it dies, or I can keep it in my hand and it might get discarded. Either way, it kind of was. All right, I'm just gonna play it. Why not? Yeah, let's tap very poorly. Yeah. Aki Lava Runner. Does anybody want to let me hit with the Aki Lava Runner? Perchance? It's really cute. It's from Kamigawa.
Do you really want to let Tomer have a Furnace of Wrath? I don't
It's not
think
a
so.
furnace of wrath, it's an extra damage. It's really cute.
That's not a good argument.
Look at it!
It's cute. Oh,
Well, you can attack Seth with both and see which one he blocks.
No.
I-
that doesn't seem good. It'll just hang out. If it dies, I mean, look at it. I mean,
Afflict. It's a mechanic that doesn't seem good, but it's starting to seem more good.
it's mildly
just-
annoying.
Gives more choices to your opponent, which generally is not ideal. But if you're getting damage through anyway, it's kind of okay anyway.
It's like,
Six mana.
it's 6 mana, 0 cards in hand. Ew.
That's why I had to do that. Bad things would have happened.
No.
Like an Artisan at Kozilek.
No.
Alright, so stack this. Get back. Man, so many
1
options.
second.
We'll get back Blood Artist.
Just if you're gonna do anything particularly mean, Seth, just hear the sound.
I don't...
The Abacus is waiting and ready. It already has 1 tick mark for you.
Have I managed to avoid the Abacus so far?
I don't know. You hit me once with that 3/3. That was pretty bad.
That's true.
That's like half a tick.
Okay.
All right, you
Oh.
get back. You get back the Blood Artist.
Yep, gotta gain a bit of life. So, play Blood Artist.
Hmm.
Sack Blood Artist. Ping Tom, since he has the most life.
Okay.
Fair.
And
I feel like this part's the unfair part, though.
it is pretty good. How can we make it even more unfair? That's the question. That's too much mana. Ooh, that is castable. Oh man. Oh, that would make everyone so sad.
Oh man.
Oh man, do we do it? It's probably a bad idea. We'd have to tap our mana vault. Oh, what's in the graveyard? That's a good question.
Oh.
Random Sphinx. Oh. Sphinx have lost truth. Maybe we
Yeah.
just do. This is harder than it should be. You know what? I think we just do this. I think this is safest. A nice, safe little tutor.
Aww.
It's
Hey, Pops.
cute.
Filigree Familiar is adorable. I still haven't gotten my hands on a foil one of them, though.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ugh.
And some life. Make some creatures.
I'm thinking about this, right? So if I gain some life, it kind of forces Seth to attack it, which is nice.
Oh yeah, because then I could alt.
Yep. Or I could just make 3/1/1s, which will also be an issue later.
Man, Razaketh is so good.
He's good. It's just I think it was just the mana ramp because he is 8 mana. So if you cast him at a more reasonable time, I think we would have dealt with him a lot easier.
Yeah,
So he
turn
had a
3
good
is
start.
pretty fast.
Turn 3 is very fast.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed by Oversold Cemetery in this deck.
Oh yeah, because you're
It's like
sacrificing.
The setup right now is so sweet because I just get to sack a creature every turn to tutor up another creature and get back whatever creature I want. It seems pretty strong.
Oh no. Well, I guess I have to attack again.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Attack Seth?
Always me.
I mean,
alright.
you do have the
Yes,
tutor.
It is fitting. You should. So I think we're not going to block with Razaketh.
Yeah.
Instead, we'll just block and sack.
That does make the most sense, I think.
Yeah.
We are losing a lot of life. Oh my god, we drew it.
Oh no.
It doesn't win the game, but it's the card I was thinking of tutoring up that will make everyone miserable for a couple turns.
Oh boy.
Life gain. Life gain seems good. How do we gain life? Oh, that does it. Okay. I think you're a little late on getting
Yeah, I
mana.
thought
Oh,
I
it
could-
worked.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
sure. Because it
But it said-
happens before it resolves.
Yeah, you're right. It just said 5 mana on my screen, which is weird, but that's not the actual like trigger. It's just Moto warning.
Yeah, that is really odd.
Alright, so I
So
have
that's casually 19 mana.
19
Okay.
mana. Okay. So I can... I'll just... Okay, I'm done.
I was
I don't have
scared.
cards!
Oh my gosh.
I have 0 cards at hand. Stop being afraid.
I think we'll... Tom has a card. Does that mean we should Mind Slicer?
Uh-oh. Tom has a card, that crazy card drawing fiend there.
We'll just get this back. Oh, I probably shouldn't have put this card in my deck. Now I'm starting to feel bad.
Seth.
I need to know what it is.
It's definitely Abacus worthy. Hey, and we won another flip. Alright, so we play a swamp. We attack Elspeth.
No blocks.
Okay, Elspeth down.
Womp womp.
So this was my last tutor target. Seems like a good one.
Oh.
Go
Yeah.
Buffs.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
And then this was the card I drew.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay.
That's
Oh.
ouchies. I mean, mana rocks still get around it, so
That's true.
we have a little bit of leeway.
And I probably won't pay for it for very long.
I mean, you can.
mean, time
you
to just
have a
start
lot of
going at
mana
it.
and Kokusho.
This is literally all we can do. I think at this point is just attack as hard and as fast as you can. Just hope you can outrace this madness.
I mean, we have a good amount of damage. Like, Jennifer at least has an 8/8 minimum. I have at least 7 damage. I think this is pretty good. 8 damage, actually.
So I think we just
Yeah.
block and
Yeah.
sack.
Yeah, that's pretty
And also,
good.
I don't think Jen could play a Sphinx if she wanted to right now.
Yeah.
Nope.
And we'll just grab...
Yeah, I have no blue mana right now.
We'll just grab that.
See, that's why Sol Ring's not that good, guys, because it doesn't tap for colored mana.
Ah, yes, good point. I didn't think of it that way.
Ooh, that was a good draw. I can destroy a permanent. What do I destroy? The problem is, like, Oversold Cemetery is going to get back Kokusho. Infernal Darkness is stopping us from playing cards. It doesn't really stop me from playing cards, to be fair, but I would like the help of other people to bring down Arch Enemy right now.
And then it's also not, I mean, Seth hasn't tutored recently, so it's possible he doesn't have an effect like Oversoul Cemetery in his hand, but
Yeah,
it's not going to be hard for him to get one.
he's already tutored for something. We
I
don't
would
know
say
what.
it's probably Oversold Cemetery, though, because hopefully he hasn't thought to get more reanimation. It was just banking on Oversold Cemetery existing for the rest of the game. Because you're playing red and I'm playing white and Jen's playing blue, and it's hard for us. I mean, it's easy for me to get rid of enchantments, but not for you guys, so.
Right.
I would probably think Cemetery is what you get rid of.
Yeah.
Also, all of your lands are now Badlands.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
What? That shouldn't...
because of how Gauntlet works.
Oh my goodness. That's bad.
That's weird.
If a land is tapped for...
Because he chose.
Yeah,
he
you're
chose
right.
Red.
Huh.
That's so strange. Okay. Infernal Darkness not as good as I thought.
Sweet. Yeah,
That art,
whenever a
though.
basic land, yeah, it is a mountain. Or yeah. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, Ulamog time.
Oh
Oversold
my
Cemetery,
goodness.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting in this situation.
Well, there's very few ways red can destroy permanents. This is probably the best way.
You know, Tomer's right.
It's not red.
It's red. It's honorary red.
Annihilator.
There's some red coloration in those tentacles.
Also, don't forget to hit Seth.
Oh no, I'm 100%. I get to flip the Aki Lava Runner, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, yeah, son.
Somebody from the Twitch stream that I did, recommended I run Aki Lava Runner. I think it was Hamanoon? Hamanoon. Sorry about the name. But, thank you.
Oh, now I'm actually getting pretty worried about dying to Ulamog.
Oh, it gets flipped. Oh, here it goes. Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
10 mana. Look at that. Nothing to cast it on. Goodbye, mana.
I mean, the good news is that Seth has to pay a black and a life, which is really difficult for him right now.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Well, also, the Mana Crypt is getting him. I don't think he's going to win this flip. I think he's going to lose
13,
this flip and the next flip, too. I'll bet an Abacus thingy on it.
So, I don't even think I'm going to pay for Infernal Darkness.
Hey.
That's terrifying.
I'll take it.
Well, it would have been scary if Jennifer had cards in her hand, but that is not the
Yeah,
case.
With everyone at one card, it's a little less scary. Or is 1 or 0.
1 or 0.
I was going to say, I'm the only person with a card in hand, and that's because it costs too much to cast right now.
Yeah, Mind Slice is quite good.
Yeah, I had Comeuppance, I had White Sun Zenith, I had a Gideon.
I love Comeuppance. It always feels great when it actually is pulled off.
It even talks about Planeswalkers. It's wonderful. It does exactly what you want in this deck.
DLTU or Planeswalkers. And Planeswalkers.
Are you running that new Wrath that can be white?
I love that one. Hour of Revelation? No. Hour of... Yeah, it
Oh,
is Hour of Revelation.
I probably should be running that card. Good
It's
point.
so good.
Yeah, that'd be a great card to run in this situation.
It's just great
Yeah.
in general.
Shoot.
I need an excuse to play that one.
It's one of my favorites.
Well,
That and a horse.
Oh, yes. The
A horse.
Sunmare Crescent Sunmare?
Yeah, I think
like
it's
that.
Crested Sunmare.
Crested Sunmare.
Such a good card.
Put that in a Loro deck, you clone that Crested Sunmare, and now they're both indestructible. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
How do we beat an Ulamog?
How are you still searching for a card? Did you have anything else? Oh, Filigree?
Yeah, filigree.
Yeah.
Wait, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that's so much mana. How much mana do we have? Do we have enough to do that? So we get this. Maybe that's fine? How many creatures? Can we... 5, tutor... Alright.
Oh, wow, this is good. This is a multi-step board wipe.
Yeah, potentially. Because I gotta get rid of that Ulamog or it's gonna kill me.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So, yeah, I assumed. Alright, so we'll take this and see if we can piece this together. So first, the card I tutored for last turn. Cabal Coffers.
Clever.
For a bit of mana.
Just don't kill Talk Volcanoborn.
So,
It's too cute
add
now.
mana, untap Cabal Coffers. It's a combo.
Uh-huh.
Add mana.
The trifecta. Zerd Temple, Urborg, Cabal Coffers.
Start with Grave Pack.
You're gonna kill Talk. You monster.
Follow up with... That's a 2/2. Oh, does that not do anything? Oh my goodness, that's so bad. Alright, well... I guess we do this. 1, 2, 3... Soul of Innistrad.
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.
Sack it.
Oh.
Oh, you weren't gonna use this ability?
It has an ability from the graveyard.
Yeah. Goodbye, Talk. You did good. You did good.
And then we'll get this. Play it.
Oh,
Sack
dear.
it.
Goodbye, Neheb.
And we will tutor up.
Nope, you ran out of creatures. That's it. Game.
This does seem a little extreme.
I guess we'll just go this route so we don't accidentally die somehow.
Oh. Hi, Gary.
Boo. Boo,
How
Gary, boo.
How much damage have we dealt to Seth this game?
Not enough.
More than 40.
Oh, I don't want to redraw any of these cards, though. Well, Ulamog, but not the rest. Oh, jeez. Goodbye, Ulamog. You did good.
Tom gets to draw a card.
He does.
Upside.
Are you going to Mind Slicer it immediately for value?
I can't yet.
Oh, no, not yet.
I really want... Oh, I can... Okay.
You could
Oh,
always,
man.
You could always tutor up Animate Dead, Mind Slicer value.
This is so sweet. Oh, man. It's the other thing I was so excited to do. Gate of the
Oh my
Afterlife.
goodness.
Sack it. Get back God Pharaoh's Gift.
Wow. Wow, it goes into play. Oof. Oof. Oh my goodness, you could actually do the Mind Slicer. Don't do it, it's bad though. Actually, yes. No. That's what I
makes the
didn't
most
want
sense.
you to do. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe this deck is better than I thought when you play Razaketh on turn 3.
I think
Yeah,
that's
playing
the sticking
Razaketh on turn
point.
3 is the dumbest thing I've seen so far today. And I worked a full 12-hour shift in the middle of a hospital. This is the dumbest thing I've seen today.
No, but Sol Ring and Mana Crypt are really fun for Commander, you guys. You should totally keep it in and not ban it ever. It's good.
Oh, I'm just excited that I got a God Pharaoh gift out. That card's so sweet.
Sol Rings and Mana Crypts, they balance themselves out in multiplayer, I swear.
I've also been a land away from exiling his commander or wrathing the board for a year.
I know.
That's getting me. It's okay
Oh.
though.
Cloud?
Yes!
Cloud Goat.
Cloud Goat, hero.
Oh, man.
You know, this is a respectable turn 7 for many EDH decks.
Oh, yeah.
I want to put that out there.
I mean, Seth did say his hand was really good. Or it was, what word did you use? It was insane.
Something along those lines, yeah.
So next time he says his deck is insane, be scared.
Well, we couldn't really do anything about it, though. I didn't
We
see
should have
us,
all mulliganed to Oblivion and started over.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, oh, you have an insane hand? Oh, that's a shame. I'm about to through you guys.
Oh,
Guess
I'm
we'll
surprised
just-
you're not casting your commander. Is it
Really?
expensive?
Really, though, I mean, I think it's Mind Slicer, because Jen had a really good start, too. But Mind Slicer kind of ruined it. Why don't people
Well,
play Mind Slicer? That card seems insane.
I mean, I do.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I just don't do it in Commander class because I'm not a mean person. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Tomer, I thought we were friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we're friends.
All right, Tom.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks.
Looks fine to me.
Oh boy.
Am I supposed to notice something there? I'm not sure. You want to put your best cards second from the top here. Because they're all going away.
No, that's true.
Second from the top? Why do you say that?
Mind
Because
Slicer.
Mind Slicer? At least draw your best card next.
Yeah. All right, we want... All right, we want to put this one down, then this one, and this one. And we will not shuffle my library. And pass turn.
Come on, top deck. Nope. All right. Does this actually help me at all? I do not think it helps me at all. Oh, we'll just play good old Neheb. Hey, I did it right this time.
Yay!
It's back.
Doesn't have haste. Or anything
Does
like
it?
that.
It does have a flick, though.
Does have afflict. You do have grave pact though, so it's gonna die. I probably should have just not played it. Hey, that was yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think I almost said it. I almost said the words, but I didn't. I caught myself.
Dreaded F
You should
word.
win next turn? You should probably win next turn.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I'm gonna win next turn, but
Well, yeah. Well, the only other
You gotta say it. Score.
yeah. Now you can't win. It's the law. I had this, but it actually doesn't help our cause because I could have burned for 8 to kill Razaketh, and I don't think that was a winning position for us. Either way.
I don't just want to win though. I want to win with style. With another Hour of Devastation card that I'm excited about.
Oh, gosh.
Thankfully, I can tutor it up.
Oh boy.
Oh, no way.
All right. None of
Is
this.
that Pyrrhemia? That's fun.
None of this equipness.
Goodbye, Neheb. Shouldn't have played you. Wait, why? Sacrifice a creature, it says. So I click it, and then it says choose this. Oh, okay.
Weird.
Huh.
Just Moto, making sure I choose it.
It just really wants to make sure that you understand how it works.
Look at the cards.
Look at the cards.
I'm not gonna burn the tokens. That doesn't seem good.
Yeah, I think we can get this.
So, like, I'm pretty sure I know of a couple different ways you could win here, but the way that you're going to win also works.
I mean,
Yeah.
He has
It-
a lot of mana and a tutor on his stick.
Yeah, Cabal Coffers plus the land, and
Plus Deserted
you
Temple.
should be able to get there, because it does target each opponent. Well, not target, but it does choose each opponent.
Oh, you're gonna do the bull ass X spell?
I was thinking about it, yeah.
I think
I don't
that's
see why not.
Go for it.
So first we gotta go to combat, so we can get back a creature. I guess this is fine. It'll make the X-Spell slightly better. Oh no! Well,
Yeah, I
now we
don't
can't-
think you need much else. Like,
Well, now we can't attack, or everyone already dies.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
So now
Tomer,
we
get the kill.
We
Get
just
the
gotta
kill,
sack
Tomer.
this. Tomer, don't do
Tomer,
it.
steal it from him. Get the
Tomer.
kill.
Oh
Like-
man. X is
Kill steal!
The KS.
X.
Ah! I go out of my own terms.
You're still alive.
When you took me out.
I take Jennifer out on my own terms.
Yes, that's true. Where is it? What is the name of it? Oh, here it is. All right. Well, I wanted to cast this. I got to cast all my Hour of Devastation cards, so I'm pretty happy.
That was a good showing.
Your deck is sweet. And if you've not convinced someone to play Razaketh by now, then they're not convincible.
Oh,
This commander is great.
It's not a very high amount of X.
He's producing 18 mana on turn 8. I don't think this is the normal for the deck.
20, that's it?
Yes! Torment of Hailfire X20.
Oh, I'm going to discard.
And now I'm dead.
It combos with Mind Slicer.
Negative 47, negative 44.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm
Not too shabby.
I'm sorry, that draw
Good
was
game.
really good.
All right, good game, everybody. So let's hear a little bit about Unesh. I was really excited to see the Sphinx go off, and the setup was really good. You had like a -4 reduction or something to cast your Sphinxes. So a 5-drop would come out on 1 mana if it only had 1 blue mana in it. So that looked really, really like a really good setup. And I was wondering what the follow-up would have been had you not gotten Mind Slicered, for example.
Well, I had at least 2 Sphinxes in my hand when Mind Slicer happened, and they, in theory, both would have hit the field the next turn. So, I mean, I already had a good setup. I had a lot of creatures out, and they were big, scary creatures. I had Door of Destiny, so they were all bigger and scarier as I played more of, without worrying about creature type. It's just whatever's in my deck, it's going to grow the door. I mean, that was a pretty good setup. I felt like I had a really good start, but having to drop my hand was really hurtful for my strategy. I mean, I got to play a bunch of cool different Sphinxes, and I got to show off a couple of them. I'm of course running things like Cage Sun I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of my thing has a really high converted mana cost.
Yeah, the Sphinx Tribe is pretty high on the converted mana cost scale.
Yeah, so I made sure to include things like Sapphire Medallion and, Sky Diamond and Soul Ring. I had to have those for my deck to function. I'm running, Thrawn Dynamo, the 4 mana, 3 tap for 3 dude. But the coolest card in the deck, or the one I was enjoying the most when I was playing it before, is actually Master of Predicaments, where whenever it deals combat damage to a player, choose a card in your hand. That player guesses whether the card's converted mana cost is greater than 4. If they guess wrong, you can play it without paying its mana cost.
Yes.
So I don't know why, but the people I was playing against before kept saying it was going to be lower than 4, and I'm dropping Sphinxes. And it was glorious. And so once they figured out they needed to say higher, I dropped a 3-drop, and it was, I think, the Warden of Evos, and then they all, super dumbfounded. It was hilarious. No, but this deck is sweet. I don't know, it's got so many cool, big creatures in it. It's another big blue, and if I'm playing blue, I tend to like big blue in Commander, and it's just a really fun version of it.
Yeah, I really like the Sphinx Tribe. It never seemed to be one of the better tribes until now. because they're just like
Yeah.
high converted mana costs. It's hard to build a deck fully around them just because you don't have a really good curve. They're all really expensive creatures. But Unesh comes along, and I think just what he brings to the tribe is so good that it makes
So
me
good.
so excited to see it. Like, yeah, you could be dropping 2-drop, 1-drop Sphinxes. And it was also a smart design call to have a good source of ramp throughout the converted mana cost, as you were saying, with the Sapphire Medallion and everything. Because Unesh alone is still not enough, I don't think. And also, if Unesh gets shut down, you have all that ramp just in case. So you can still cast your spell and you're not entirely reliant on him. So that was a good call. And it looked like a sweet deck. You don't get to see Sphinx Tribal really play that much. And now Unesh comes along and it's a deck. It looks cool.
One of the things you kept saying, I play all these Sphinxes for 1 mana, and unfortunately, there's I think 2 Sphinxes I can play off of a single blue. So I don't think I ever get to play any Sphinxes for less than 2 for the most part, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Tom. So we got to see the start of Djeru, and it was actually a pretty decent start. It was a pretty good start. You had like a turn 2 mana rock, you had then turn 3.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a solid, fair start.
It was.
I was above
Very
average.
fair. I'm glad that you noticed that it was incredibly fair and normal. And I just walked into the wrong bar, and that's okay. That happens. Everyone has that experience. It's fine.
So,
Anyways,
what was going on? What were you going to do? What was right around the corner?
so when it comes to this deck, as I mentioned at the outset, is that it kind of does build itself. I played all the white planeswalkers I basically could, except for the 4-mana Gideon that makes 2/2 allies. That guy is a little bit too expensive and a little bit just too expensive and out of our current budget range. All the other white planeswalkers I was able to play, including Colorless Ugin, no Karn because Tron exists.
Yeah.
But Ugin's fine for some reason, which is nice. But then I decided to kind of fit the deck up with some really good white control staples and ways to get planeswalkers back from the graveyard because I expect them to die, and also ways to redirect damage. I thought was kind of a little fun caveat to bring into the deck. So there's cards like Divine Deflection, Shining Shoal, comeuppance that you saw before, and stuff like Selfless Squire. Because I assumed that this deck was, if it was able to get off the ground, it was able to like wrath the board a couple of times, and it would start getting focused. And so stuff like Selfless Squire and Crackdown would become really important. Crackdown is actually a really powerful rare from Arcadian Masks. It's a 2 and a white enchantment. Non-white creatures with power 3 or greater don't untap during their controls and tap steps. It was going to be a really good way to lock down pretty much all of the other players' creatures, especially since I don't think any of them have vigilance, which would have been really nice. But it never really got to see the light of day, per se. But that's perfectly fine. I definitely did like this build. I think this is a pretty good classic just white control deck that focuses on planeswalker utilization, which is a fun deck in general. I did have a couple of hour cards. The one card I really wanted to play was Overwhelming Splendor.
Yeah.
The 8-mana curse that makes all creatures just humilities a person's creatures, which would have been wonderful against that stupid Razaketh deck. But hey, it was a bit
It
too
would be
far
good
off.
against basally any deck, to be fair.
Yeah, it just basically says that deck doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you need to do, which is just kind of how that works. And I did like this build of the deck. I would definitely try it again. I would say if there's one thing that is disappointing about it, it's not disappointing, but just the general build of it is to be a slower deck. It definitely isn't one that's made to play very quickly or to win the game in just a couple of turns, like some of the other decks I build. Usually, like my favorite type of deck to build is very aggressive, red-green, make sure there's always a threat on the table kind of deck. This is the exact opposite. Yeah, this is not a proactive deck. It definitely has large creatures that can win the game. You're never going to be of lack of win conditions, but it's probably just going to be one win condition. You got to ride or die to the end. So I do like this deck. I think it's pretty fun. I think if you were looking for a deck to build from, as far as a more basic white control deck, this would actually be a good place to build from, especially if you did want to experiment with Djeru with eyes open. We didn't really get to see him do much this game. But I do think he could become a good planeswalker. I'm sorry, a good commander, or he could just be a great commander in the other 99. I could also just see him being a good like Naya planeswalker addition. Just being able to play a 5-mana 4/3 that protects your planeswalkers and lets you find what you need at that time could be really influential. And I could definitely see him also be good in a deck like a green-white legendary deck with Captain Sisay. Djeru could also allow you to get those planeswalkers that you want in that kind of deck. Being able to tutor Djeru to be able to get yourself a Garruk, or to be able to tutor Djeru and to get yourself a big Ajani could be incredibly important. So I don't think this is one of those legendary creatures that come out that I think really would find itself a better fit in the other 99 as opposed to being highlighted in the command zone. But I definitely did like building the deck, and I thought that it was a pretty interesting deck design. And I would definitely suggest, if you're looking to make a more classic white control deck that focuses on Planeswalker power, if you have like some Elspeth Sun's Champions laying around from Theros Standard, you can definitely slot them into Djeru and have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he plays very well to the white, like, shut down control strategy. Like, he prevents damage, which is nice. That's what you want from, like, a Pillow Fort. And he pulls out the Planeswalkers, which benefit greatly from that Pillow Fort shell. So I like it's a really nice 1-2 punch. And part of the 99 looks really fun. And I didn't even think about... I thought about putting it in a Super Friends deck, obviously. I didn't think about just having it in, like, a Sisay deck and having just like 3 or so tutor targets, and then it works kind of like a trophy mage or a trinket mage, where it's like a utility tutor thing that helps you out a little bit, but also brings so much to the table, big body, damage absorption, all that. So that seems like an interesting way of using him too.
Yeah, I think it could be really useful in that situation. So I would definitely suggest giving him a look, and definitely not forgetting this creature going on into the next couple of years. I mean, I could definitely see this commander being left in the dust. Like, I don't think he has a really strong foothold right now, and I could definitely see him just being forgotten in the span of like 4 months. But at the same time, I still think he's going to be one of those cards that constantly pops up in Planeswalker focused decks. Stuff like your Oath of the Gideons or your Call of the Gatewatch, which was in this deck, and other things like that, or Deploy the Gatewatch, which are decks that are really focused around Planeswalkers. He's always going to be a 1-of in it. So I think he's definitely not going to... I don't expect to see a lot of Djeru decks around in the span of the next year and a half, but I do expect to see this card see play. So if you're a person who loves playing with their Planeswalkers, I do think this wouldn't be a bad foil pickup in the next couple of months when he's about 25 cents in foil, because you'll want to play him in your Planeswalker decks going forward, your 5-color Planeswalker decks or anything like that. So I would definitely suggest giving him a try, and I really think his real fit is in the other 99.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. All right, well, my deck was basically multiplayer Burn. I've been playing Burn a lot in Commander Clash, and this kind of just fits the mold. It's a lot of the Burn spells that you've seen before. The Earthquakes, the Rolling Earthquakes, the fault lines and everything. Basically, just taking advantage of Neheb's ability to give you an absurd amount of mana. So basically, whenever I ping a person for an Earthquake, like let's say I pay 1 mana to deal 1 damage for an Earthquake, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, so 3 damage total, and then Neheb gives me back 3 mana for that investment. So put in 1 mana, get back 3. That's usually how it works with it. So I have a bunch of ways to do damage to all my opponents and get back an absurd amount of mana. I was doing some playtesting with it, and when Neheb was on the battlefield, a lot of people never really got to see Neheb yet because he's brand new, but usually I would put Neheb on the battlefield, and then I would deal some damage, and I would instantly make like 20, 30, 50 mana to work with, and I could easily kill people with like a giant fireball or a giant comet storm, which is the usual way of finishing the thing, or I could just drop a giant Eldrazi. So Neheb could win very quickly out of nowhere. But the only downside is when your opponents know what he's up to, he does cost 5 mana to cast, and he is quite squishy. He doesn't have any built-in resilience, so he will get hated out, and he should be hated out And when he does get hated out, it's difficult to build a deck around him just because he costs so much mana. So if he gets killed once, twice, 3 times, it's very difficult to use his mana ramp as your sole way of cheating out all your big stuff. So the way I recommend building him, and the way I ended up building him, is I liked big spells that were okay if you cast them at medium range. And what I mean by that is the X spells. I could have Earthquake, I could have Rolling Earthquake, and all those things as just a like 5 mana, 6 mana, 7 mana board wipe. And I could also have it as a game finisher if I have Neheb Infinite Mana. So that works really well. But also, I have a lot of wheel effects. Wheel of Fortune, Commune with Lava, Reforge a Soul, all these ways of drawing a bunch of cards very quickly. These are really good just in general if I'm low on cards, but they're also really good with Neheb because I could have like 50 mana, I could play out my entire hand, and then I could wheel and I'll have another 7 cards. So it's good when I don't have Neheb out, it's good when I do have Neheb out. So I prefer that method than just jamming like all your 12 mana spells possible, even though I do have a couple of the Eldrazi's for that too. And then otherwise that functions the way you think it will work. It does have an infinite mana combo. If I deal 5 damage in a turn and I have Aggravated Assault out and Neheb out, I can pay 5 mana to take an extra combat step with Aggravated Assault, and then from there, if I can keep attacking and making just keep doing attack steps, I can go infinite combat steps, and that is a easy and cheap way to win the game and lose friends. So there's that, and otherwise that's pretty much the deck. It's pretty straightforward burn deck, very effective. And like Tom, I would say Neheb is probably better off as part of the 99 in a deck like Rakdos the Returned or other such group pain decks. I think you benefit a lot from being in black and some other colors, but he's also very good as the commander too. He is fine as a general there as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually was really impressed with what your deck was able to do. I think if it didn't lose 4 cards at the beginning of the game, it definitely could have done a lot more going forward. So, I mean, I was actually rather surprised with how effective the mana production on Neheb was. You were legitimately a Wheel of Fortune away in some turns from just being able to deal everybody like 15 damage in one shot. Like, it wouldn't have been difficult for you at all. And that was just from having your commander out simply just being there dealing damage. So I thought that was really cool, and I really liked the addition of that mana rock you had, the Emrakul one. I can't remember the name.
Cryptolith Fragment.
Cryptolith Fragment. So good in that deck. That was like when you first tapped it and it just gave you 3 mana. I was like, oh, that is smart. It's really good.
Yeah, it's fine by itself. It's a 3 mana, taps for 1 mana, so that's not the greatest. However, when Neheb's on the battlefield, it taps for 4 mana each turn, which is bonkers.
That's so good. Neheb is one of those, like, when we sat down for this game, Neheb was actually the deck I was the most scared of.
You should be.
And 100%, because of the insane amount of mana production it can produce in a single turn. Like, even if you were to build it with just like aggressive smaller creatures, the fact that you could maybe play a 3-drop, then a 4-drop, then drop Neheb, and be able to make an extra 8 mana during your second main phase to do something else stupid isn't something to scoff at. I think that commander is going to be really good, but I'm not sure if it's better than Razaketh yet, because Razaketh just destroyed us in like a couple of turns.
Yeah, speaking of Razaketh, we got to see the start with the Mana Crypt into the Mana Vault, into the Razaketh turn 3, into Shenanigans, and it seemed really awesome. And Razaketh just himself seems really, really powerful. Instant speed tutor effect and a sacrifice, which is usually a benefit more than a drawback in black. It seemed really good. What were your thoughts, Seth? And what other coolness did you have?
So, actually, you got to see a lot of the things I was excited about. Of course, I'll definitely admit that draw, it's very atypical.
Yeah.
I don't have that much fast ramp. I have Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, and that's pretty much it. And to have 2 of those 3 in my opening hand, along with the Burnish chart, was the other key piece to get the black mana I needed. Was just, yeah, it was just a really insane start. So I think my deck could still do those things, but it would be more likely starting that process like 3 or 4 turns later, and then there's more removal and counters and more stuff on the board to attack me. So I don't think the deck will do that very often. That was like as good as it gets, I think, for draws. But there's a lot of really cool synergies that you can build in, and some of them I was kind of discovering as as I was playing the deck. Like, I put in a lot of cards that I thought were good, but I was really surprised how I could use, for example, Mind Slicer to discard the cards I needed to turn on Oversold Cemetery to keep getting back whatever I wanted to, and then with Yeah, and then with Razaketh out, you have this tutor, and when you can continually get stuff back from your graveyard, not just with Oversold Cemetery, but we also got to see Godpharaoh's Gift be really sweet, and even being able to tutor it up with Gate of the Afterlife. And Phyrexian Reclamation kind of does the same thing. Palace Siege also does it. So there's a lot of effects that give you that continual way to get a creature back. And then you're getting the Enter the Battlefield or Dies trigger every turn. And you're also tutoring up something else, like often another creature, but you can also tutor out, we saw like the Malicious Affliction to deal with a problem, or a Tragic Slip, or a Wrath, which doesn't really hurt us because we get back our creatures anyway. So there's just a lot of cool synergies there, but I think you saw most of the main pieces. It was kind of a two-part deck, I guess, where a lot of it was built around Razaketh and the sacrifice, getting stuff back loop, and the other part was just the big mana. I really wanted to play with Torment of Hailfire and also have Exsanguinate as a backup, so that was kind of the other part. As far as specific stuff, there's some cool creatures you can play. Endless Cockroaches is a weird one, but it's really awesome with Razaketh. Endless Cockroaches is a 3-mana 1/1, but when it dies, you return it to your hand. So it just lets you, for 3 mana, basically, tutor an infinite number of times. It's basically a Grim Tutor. Resembling Skeletons does something similar. It's 2 mana, and then for 2 mana, you can return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So there's some creatures that work really well with the with that plan as well. So the deck was sweet. It worked sweeter than I guess I kind of hoped. I kind of wish my draw was slightly less good, so it wasn't so dominant. But it felt really good, and Razaketh felt very strong. And even without the fast mana, I think it still would have been very strong with all the sacrifice loops and all the synergies that there are with sacrificing and Enter the Battlefield triggers. So I think it's still a very strong deck. Even with a more typical draw, I think it would still be very good. Obviously not as good, but I think it's actually a pretty legit commander.
So I have a follow-up question then. What would you prefer Razaketh as part of the commander, or do you think he fits better as part of the 99?
I think Razaketh is fine as part of the 99, but I think with the repeatable tutor ability, it's an effect that you can really build around, and I think I like it as a commander more than part of the 99. Although if you're just playing like a black big mana deck, you can't really go wrong. Like, the body's big, it's flying, it's trampling, it's a good threat in the 99 as well, but I think playing it as a commander lets you really build around it and take advantage of some really sweet synergies that you probably wouldn't play with Razaketh in the 99. You're not going to play Endless Cockroaches and stuff like that if you're just playing a deck with Razaketh in the 99. So better as a commander, but still a great 99 card if you're playing a black ramp style deck where you're going to have enough mana to cast it.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I would say there's other commanders that cost less mana that are also promoting the sacrifice theme, like Bontu or Chainer, Dementia Master, or Endrick Sar. But the fact that Razaketh is a tutor when he sacrifices makes it so appealing to have access to it at any point in time. Because just the tutor effect plus the sacrifice effect is such a powerful combination that it's well worth paying that extra mana, paying 8 mana to cast him from your command zone rather than hoping to tutor him, putting him into the graveyard and reanimating him, for example.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to evaluate. This is actually the first game I've played with the deck, was our Commander Clash game. So I'm a little hesitant to base too much on it because the draw was so good, but having a Razaketh sit out on the battlefield felt super broken. Like, it felt very close to having something like Grizzlebrand. It's very different, but the ability to repeatedly tutor, and when you can make so much mana in Commander, I mean, probably the best example of it was a turn where you got out your Eldrazi, which was pretty much going to beat me, and by just tutoring repeatedly with Razaketh, was able to piece together an answer to the entire board and the indestructible Eldrazi, which is something that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do even with Grizzlebrand. You're just kind of hoping you draw the right pieces, but being able to not only get the card you need, but do that again and again multiple times a turn. I mean, some of the things that we didn't really see with the deck, but there's a bunch of creatures like Guiltleaf Winnowers, Shadowborn Demons, Shriek Maws, where you could potentially just like play one, kill something, sack it, get something else, kill it. We saw the Cuckoo Show. There's Noxious Gear Hulk. Scuttling Doom Engine is like a backup Cuckoo Show. So the tutoring ability really gives you answers for pretty much anything. Like, you can beat your opponent's board. You can also kill your opponent with the damage loops. So I think that it's just a very strong and very fun card. So I want to ask all you, have you heard the rumors of Razaketh being too good? And do you think there's any chance that would be something that could come up as far as the Razaketh banning?
I know that there's a lot of people banding around for it. Benny Smith, who writes over on SEG, definitely thought like day one he should be banned. I do think the mana cost is prohibitive, and if anything, it might be the symptom of a deeper problem, which is how destructive fast mana can be to certain games. So this is kind of what people usually complain about when they talk about Sol Ring, is that if someone can play an 8-mana commander on turn 3, yeah, they should probably win the game. Like, let's say your commander was Elish Norn, or let's say it was even something as simple as Sheoldred. Those are commonly well-known commanders that are okay, but on turn 3, those are beyond oppressive. Mm-hmm. And I think Razaketh does do a better job of capitalizing on that early lead, per se, but I think it's more a symptom of a deeper problem than anything else. The consistency of getting Razaketh out on turn 3 isn't as bad. I do agree with Tomer. Getting him out on turn 6 or turn 7 and being able to sack something immediately is really strong. And I think if you could build a deck around always sacking like 2 cards on turn 5 or 6, that'd be really good. And you'd be forced to make sure the Razaketh deck has no creatures out ever. But I think that's something decks can do, and I think he's going to be a very strong addition to the Commander Pantheon, I guess. Let's go with that, the Commander Trove. But I don't think that he's busted per se. I think he's a very good card, but I don't think he's busted as a commander.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Tom on that. He is 8 mana, so getting him out on turn 6 or so, I think, is a lot more manageable. Everybody has some time to set up and prepare and know that Razaketh is coming. When he comes,
or even a counterspell.
Yeah, even a counterspell.
Like, it's really obvious. It's super telegraphed. Like, if your opponent's going to get to 8 mana on turn 6, just leave up 4 mana for anything, and you should be able to prevent it. So, sorry, continue.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with that. Like, just, it's going to be easier to disrupt, easier to find the removal disruption to stop it. I'm also a little bit afraid of just its potential to be entombed and reanimated very quickly. But at the same time, we already have other targets that do the same thing. Like, if you turn 1 Dark Ritual, entomb, and reanimate Jin Cataxius, you pretty much win the game as well. I guess the only thing that is more in Razaketh's favor is he's already in black, so he can better do these shenanigans in decks that probably maybe don't have access to blue for Jin Cataxius or something like that. So he is very powerful, and I think he's going to be used in busted things, but I don't think he's inherently the problem. I think it's just other cards that are the enablers that always end up being the problem, and I would much rather those be gone than something like Razaketh.
I'm also kind of okay with occasionally getting an explosive start like Seth got tonight. Like, that's probably not going to happen for another 50 or so games played with that exact deck, and sometimes you just get to play this ridiculous game and then move on to the next one. So if you're just having a whole commander night with your buddies, sweet, Seth got this epic play. Now we all can like gang up on Seth for the rest of the night kind of thing.
It's also, keep in mind, everybody barring Tom essentially had a very explosive start. Tom even had a decent start, but everybody else at the table had a crazy start. Soul Rings, Mana Crypts, everything. Jennifer was basically a turn away from dropping, you said 2 Sphinxes, and then you still have mana left over to do other things too. 2 Sphinxes that would have had Factor Fiction, mini Factor Fictions out, and you would have had probably a little bit of mana available to do something else. Maybe hold up a counter spell too.
Yeah, I had counter spells.
Yeah, so if Seth was just a little bit slower, Jennifer might have been the one we would all be talking about having the insane start instead. So I think it's just very rare. It's also circumstantial. It doesn't happen most often. I think if we played it back 2-3 times, I think that most likely Razaketh would have come out maybe turn 5, turn 6, maybe turn 7 instead of turn 3. So I think that's very rare. It's an outlier. So not too much can be gleaned from it. Although I just think in general that Soul Ring should be gone. But at the same time, it does make for exciting games, which is what proponents of these cards say. It says, like, this makes memorable games. Like, people are going to be talking about the games where somebody has the insane start, has the epic plays, and that's the stuff that is exciting to people in Commander, is you have these broken cards and you can do broken things every once in a while. The problem is when it happens all the time.
And just so it's clear, I didn't have a Soul Ring. You all had Soul Rings, but so don't blame the Soul Ring, Tomer.
That's just a blanket term for all of those.
Yeah,
blanket term. But yeah, it's an outlier, and it doesn't really happen very often. So even if people don't like it, odds are it's not actually going to come up that often. But I guess it just sticks out when it does. Either for the better, when people think about epic games and epic plays, or for the worse, for people who are like, oh my god, I hate Soul Ring. So,
yeah. I definitely like Jen's point of you can always just play another game. So yeah, it happens sometimes, but at least it ends pretty quickly, and you can always just jump into another one, and it won't go like that again. That's kind of the beauty of Commander in 100-card singleton formats, is there's so much variance that the odds of having those 2 specific Soul Rings in your opening hand is just so low. So you just never really know, and I think that is part of the fun. I'm kind of in the ban Soul Ring camp as well, but I think that's part of the appeal of Commander, is just how much variance there is. So you can play the same deck over and over and over again, and a lot of the games feel different because of just the very foundation of the format and the 100-card singleton aspect of it.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be surprised that I would say probably the 3 people who definitely want consistency the most out of decks are the most in favor of not having stuff like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt in the format. That actually makes the most sense to me, and I think that is also the other argument in which, this is the argument I used to always go with. In fact, I always on the don't ban Soul Ring camp for a long time, until I got to play this format with a Soul Ring. Granted, it had prime time and other discussing things, but the format was fine without it. I did not miss stupid starts. It was great. So, and then people being forced to play Chrome Mox and stuff like that to try and do the same thing was wonderful.
Oh,
it was like, yeah.
Not a replacement.
Yeah, it's like a terrible replacement. It was wonderful. I was like, yeah, you're going down to card advantage now. This is great. But overall, I would say that I think Razaketh is going to see a lot of play in both the other 99 and as a commander, and I can't wait to see if he lasts beyond a year and a half. That's always my test for commanders, to see if they last beyond a year and a half, to see if they actually enter into the constant consciousness of the kind of commander scene. There are some commanders... Yeah, I mean, there are some commanders that always end up in that situation. There's others we forget about. Like, I mean, Tristani it was hard to see her not at a table for about a year and a half, and then she just disappeared. And so it'll be really interesting to see where he lands, or the character lands going forward. I don't know about genders for demons. Just not going to run down that road. But
I remember when I was playing as a newbie in Commander, the boogeyman of the format, at least in my group, was Djeru of the Gitu, where you paid 2 mana to suspend thing, and generally you would be suspending mass land destruction, and coming right off of it are Eldrazi. So you wipe the board, do like a Decree of Annihilation, and then right off suspending off of that is an Eldrazi to wipe the game. Everybody hated Djeru, and I thought she might have been banned, but then just everybody just stopped playing her. I guess they jumped onto Narset, and then Narset lost her appeal, and we just stopped hearing about those.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where Razaketh ends. I could definitely see him being one of those consistent presences going forward, but I'll be happy to see where he hits. He might be relegated to being the strongest demon in Demon Tribal. I mean, you never know. So, I mean, I'm definitely really excited, and I'm glad we got to really try out these commanders. I actually think the commander I was really the most intrigued with was Unesh, funnily enough. Like, I saw Neheb, I saw Neheb do what I expected Neheb to do, and I saw Razaketh do what I expected Razaketh to do. What Unesh did, I was actually very surprised with. That was incredibly strong. I think if it was a different situation, that deck could have easily just wiped the floor with us in like a second.
It would have been really interesting if Seth just had one turn delay. Well, what would have happened to the Unesh board? Because I think, yeah, Jennifer was primed for a really explosive start with counterspell backup, mind you.
Yeah.
So.
It's also like a 6-mana commander that's going to draw you at least 2 cards every single time. That's great. And that also makes your other creatures do that as well. Like, I could see someone waiting till they get to 8 mana to cast Unesh and then another Sphinx, and they just draw 4 cards immediately, and they just have 2 big creatures on the battlefield.
And don't forget Panharmonicon.
It's a real strong play, and I could definitely see that being. I could see that being the route Sphinxes take going forward. Usually it's Esper with Sharoom, but now you could probably get away with mono blue, and especially since Wizards is now officially doubling down on Sphinxes being blue's big creature type. I'm really excited to see where it goes from here, and I was really happy to see Jennifer's deck, although it didn't get to do as much as we expected. Even that little bit of an explosive start has me really intrigued, and I'm probably going to be building that deck in a little while.
It was a really fun deck. Like, this is probably in the top couple of decks that I've built for Commander Clash in, like, just amount of fun to play. It's good.
Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up with the latest and greatest, click on the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to check out similar videos, click on the links here and here.